Hey everyone, it's Mari. Thank you so much for stopping by my YouTube channel today. I have a 12 by 12 scrapbooking process here today to share with you for the Just Nick Digital Cut File Shop. And I'm going to be using 4 different cut files from the shop today. And what I did for this first one here is I'm just showing you that I left the file on my mat and I'm adding some Distress Oxide ink to the cut file to just help it pop off of the layout here a little bit. So I'm using 4 different colors of Distress Oxide ink for this, and this is all going to match up with the Indigo Hills 2 collection from Pink Fresh Studio. The colors of inks I'm using are Seedless Preserves, Victorian Velvet, Dusty Concord, and Stormy Sky. And I'm just going to blend these 4 colors together just to kind of create a color scheme here that's just going to be really soft and pretty with purples, pinks, and blues. And I really love this combination. I think it's so pretty, and I think it's one of the things that really drew me to that collection in the first place. And I really love how it adds detail to this really gorgeous cut file here. So the cut file I'm adding color to right now is called Floral Swag 2. And this cut file is really pretty. It has a combination of blossoms and foliage, and it could be used in a lot of different ways on many different kinds of projects. For this one, I'm using it as a really large embellishment on the bottom of my layout, but if you were making a card, or if you wanted a smaller floral embellishment for a layout, or if you wanted to cut it multiple times for a repeated pattern on a project, it's just really gorgeous and beautiful. One of the things I love about this cut file is that it's really, really easy to cut. It has a lot of large spaces in it rather than really tiny little intricate pieces. And it was just sort of like the perfect addition for what I wanted for this layout. So now you can see I've got all of that Distress Oxide ink added, and I'm just going to take my tool here just to peel this off of the mat. And I'm just trying to be really careful with that because I do have another cut file on the top of the mat as well that I'm also going to be adding some color to a little bit later. Now you can see here I've got the tile background cut file. I have that all cut out. What I did was I cut I want to say I cut those other 2 cut files on this same piece of cardstock, and then this one I just cut on one separate solid sheet because it's a large cut. And what I did was I just I knew that I wanted it to be a focal point on my layout, but I didn't want it to be 12 by 12. So I sized it down a little bit in the Silhouette Studio software, and knowing that I wanted it to be a layer on my layout, but a large layer. And then what I did was I just adhered that cut file over top of a piece of Pink Fresh Indigo Hills 2 pattern paper. That's an ombre paper, and I really love this paper. I think it's so gorgeous, and you can see that it's got those purples and blues in that paper, and that really matches up nicely with the Distress Oxide ink that I used over top of that cut file. So now I'm adhering that onto a piece of white cardstock, and that's going to be another layer on my layout, so that I'm going to have a few different layers or mats on this layout before I even start to really build where my photograph is going to be and that. So I've got this outer frame, which is going to be that gray and white pattern paper. That's all that foliage from Pink Fresh Studio. It's a really soft, pretty neutral frame. And then I've got the white cardstock layer, and then I have that tile background cut file over the ombre paper. Now I'm going to take another cut file. This one is called Free Love from the Cut File Shop, and I am going to use this as a large title piece. So you can see that I've added the inks, those 4 different colors of inks, to this cut file, just like I did for the Floral Swag 2. And now I'm going to back that with that same pattern paper that I used for the outermost frame of my layout. And that's just going to repeat that same pattern inside of the layout or on the main layer in the title piece, just to bring that pattern back in again. And like I said, just to repeat that element so that it's not just sort of like a one-off. And it does bring the white back into the main part of the layout as well. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my Shimmer Spritz product that I have in my stash, and I'm going to spray that over top of that Floral Swag 2 cut file. What it does is it actually activates that Distress Oxide ink a little bit, and it creates a little bit of kind of like a it distresses the ink a little bit more, and it adds a huge amount of color and shine to the shine and glitter and sparkle to that piece, which I really love how that looks. Now I wanted to just add a little bit of a layer onto my photo here because I don't have a white border around the photo. So I just added that with a piece of white cardstock as a matte. And now I'm going to add another matte in a piece of dark blue with a little bit of a white floral on it from that Indigo Hills collection. And I really love how that dark blue matte on the photo just helps the photo come up off the layout a little bit more. And now I'm going to add that title piece, the cut file on the top, and then the embellishment of the Floral Swag on the bottom. And I'm just going to kind of try to place that in and around the different little pieces of that cut file so that the cut file on the bottom just kind of comes up onto the photograph a little bit in some places. Now I am going to add some foam adhesive to some of my bits. For example, the love title, I am going to put some foam adhesive on that to pop it up off the layout a little bit. And I'm going to take some of the embellishments from the Indigo Hills 2 collection to embellish my layout a little bit more as well. So there's a set of little chipboard photo corners in that collection that I wanted to add to the four corners of my photo. And now I'm just kind of looking at some of the other bits and pieces from the collection to see what else I might want to add. And you know what? I just felt like the cut files were enough. I didn't really have to add a whole lot of anything else as far as embellishments. I did add a little bit of Heidi Swapp Color Shine, and you'll see me do that here in a bit. But I just felt like, you know, the cut files were really all I needed. And I was thinking about adding a little bit of journaling on that little journaling spot there, but I decided to print my journaling off on my computer and then cut those as strips and journaling strips and just add those on to where that Floral Swag cut file is, instead of using handwritten journaling here. So now I'm just going to take, you can see I have all of those journaling strips, which I printed in Microsoft Word, and I'm just going to add those down. I'm going to use my tweezers just to hold on to those, add a little bit of liquid adhesive using my fine liner bottle, and stick those down in a little bit of an area, journaling area at the bottom. I'm going to take some of the little hearts from the Positively Love cut file, and I'm going to add those as little embellishments around the layout. So you can see that I have 3 little cut file hearts in white added as little embellishments on the layout. There's one up on the word love, and you can see I'm just adding some adhesive to this one here. I'm going to pop some of those up on some foam adhesive just to bring them up off the layout a little bit. And that'll be a little extra added embellishment. And I like how that adds a little bit more white as well to the layout. So I'm going to take a few of the little enamel dots from the collection, from the Indigo Hills collection. I'm going to add 3 little areas of enamel dots to the layout as well, just to add a little bit of detail. And you know, that is going to be it for this layout. I really love how this worked out. I love purple. It actually was my mom's favorite color, and that kind of was one of the reasons why I really wanted to use purple in this particular layout, because, you know, my mom wasn't at my daughter's wedding. She passed away a few years ago. And, you know, I guess, you know, having my sister there was really important to us. And we really, you know, it was a special day. And part of the reason why it was so special is because she was there. So that's what we're documenting here today in this layout. And I had a lot of fun creating this. And the 4 cut files that I used from the shop are gorgeous. Make sure you hop over to the Just Nick blog today. There is a blog post for this layout. And also head over to the Just Nick shop, and I will leave a link in the description box below so that you can check those out. So thank you so much for joining me today. I really appreciate it. I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, please give me a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed, I would love to have you as a subscriber on my channel. Have an amazing day, friends, and I'll see you next time here on my channel. Bye-bye.